Hey everybody, it's Andy. I'm an attorney licensed to practice law in California as well as New York. This is my office in Modesto, California. If you're a frequent watcher of this channel, I'm sure you've seen this, this background before and stuff. In this video, actually, I'm going to take a slight detour and address a lot of the common questions or the common comments, I guess, that I get a lot. I actually meant to shoot this video a while ago in celebration of reaching 1,000 subscribers, but as you can tell, I think I'm close to reaching, 1,600 now, or 1,700 or something. So this will be my, 1,600, subscriber celebration video also. Yeah, so I had the idea a while ago, but just time got away from me, and now I have more subscribers than I was anticipating having, way back when. So I'm going to go over some. I think I have 10 or 11 questions on this list that I have kind of hanging from the camera here. I'm going to go ahead and address some of those. Hopefully I'll get to all of those. So anyway, so the first question, which I think makes me laugh still, is why am I not wearing a suit? I actually get this comment of an astounding, amount of time, I guess. It's pretty frequent. So why am I not wearing a suit? And the reason I think why that makes me laugh is because, lawyers do wear suits, and I do have quite a few suits actually, probably more than I really should have. But lawyers don't wear suits all the time. Clearly right now I'm not wearing a suit, but most of the time, if I don't have to go to court, if I don't have to meet with a client that particular day, will I wear a suit? Generally speaking, no. That might be a West Coast thing, California thing, for instance. I've dealt with lawyers and bankers and private equity people before who are from the East Coast, and I can tell you that I think it's probably a cultural thing. Back east, suits, ties, etc. are actually way more common. Out west, the surfer mentality, California hippies, whatever. Just wearing a suit out west, lawyers don't always do it. I actually know of a couple firms, I actually worked at a couple firms before where, wearing a suit was not required unless you were going to court, unless you were meeting with a client. Whatever makes you feel comfortable, because, if you're going to be comfortable, it's going to be something where you're going to be more productive, hopefully. So why am I not wearing a suit? That's kind of the reason. Another reason actually is, I don't know if you can see kind of behind me here, like how it's dark outside. A lot of these videos I actually record either kind of on the weekend or in the evening. And the reason I do that is because during the week, a lot of times it's too hectic to, record stuff. The phone goes off, people are knocking on the door, etc. So a lot of times just I have to pick a quiet time, in the evening, let's say, or on the weekend. Like right now, this is actually, it's Sunday night. I don't know the date off the top of my head. Thanksgiving, Thanksgiving 2019 is actually this coming Thursday, whatever the date is for the Sunday before Thanksgiving in 2019. So yeah, that's kind of the second reason also. Like these videos are generally recorded outside of normal business hours. So, outside normal business hours, hopefully things can be a bit more casual. Yeah, so why I don't wear a suit? There you go. So number 2 on my list, why don't I answer my comments? So I actually do read all the comments. I do turn on comment moderation, as some of you probably have noticed. And I do that mainly because that if you don't, to be honest with you, there's so much comment spam. I'm going to get comments from people wanting to sell counterfeit Viagra to Russian brides looking for husbands or something. Yeah, I have to turn on my comment kind of moderation to get rid of the spam. A lot of the comments actually that I get, legitimate comments, not the comment spam. A lot of the comments that I get actually are, I guess I wouldn't do this. I would encourage you not to do this actually. But a lot of the comments I get are really long and they describe a humongously complicated scenario. Don't put your private info kind of out there, for everyone to kind of see. If you have an attorney, if you need an attorney, find one, talk to them one-on-one. Don't describe like your family situation, your divorce situation, your probate situation, whatever it is. Don't put that online for everybody to look at. Yeah, so a lot of my comments, number 1 are spam, number 2 are really long, complicated and stuff. Generally speaking, they're not going to be simple 1 or 2 word answers or really simple things that can be answered quickly. A lot of my comments are really a lot of the comments I receive rather are really long, really complicated. Yeah, just it's too difficult to respond to really quickly. Yeah, but I do read all the comments though, so hopefully that is somewhat satisfying. So number 3, why are my videos so long? So my videos, I don't have an average, but they're usually several minutes, 8, 9, 10. I think my longest one's like 45 minutes maybe, or 30 minutes or something. So a couple things. Actually, probably 2 main reasons, I guess, why my videos, generally speaking, are pretty long. Number 1 is that I generally try to make my videos pretty thorough, like thorough to the point where you can basically watch it and have, like, I guess 95% of the population out there is going to have all of their questions answered. There's detail in the videos. If you notice, actually, I cite to statutes, which I usually write kind of on the board over here, and then I link to them down below in the description. So, statutes, cases, form numbers and stuff. I can tell you where to go get forms. All of that detail is going to be in the video because I don't want you to watch a video and go like, okay, hey, I really need that thing that Andy described. How do I get it? He didn't say. Oh, well, that doesn't help. So to be helpful, I try to make my videos, really detailed, self-contained, that hopefully, you guys can basically, what's the word? Go like be off to the races, I guess, or something. You guys can basically take this, the knowledge that you get from this video, get whatever forms, case law, whatever that you need, and then you're off and you can kind of handle your own situation. Realistically, does that happen all the time? No, I know that. But I try to make my videos detailed. So the thing is, if you do have the desire, the ability to handle your case yourself, you have the means to do it. So that's number 1. Number 2, this one is kind of a longer principle, I guess, or a longer idea. If you are going to be involved in the law at all, like if you're contemplating going to law school, if you're contemplating getting involved in a court case or a legal case of some kind, you have to have the perseverance to read, analyze. If you're basically trying to get involved in a court case and you're thinking that it's going to be quick and easy, and you want the quick and easy answer or something, the law, at least in the United States, generally speaking, does not lend itself to quick and easy answers. So you have to have the tenacity, the perseverance, I hate to say mental fortitude because I don't think that's fair to say, but mentally you have to be willing and able to tough it out and read stuff, read court cases, read documents, to think about stuff, to map it out, to basically do a lot of kind of academic or sort of intellectual kind of thinking. And if you aren't the type to want to do that, or if you don't like doing it, I think you're not going to be able to succeed in the law. I think the law just inherently requires a lot of patience, a lot of perseverance, I guess. If you're looking for the quick and easy answer, the law generally, I think, is not going to be for you. So the reasons why my videos are so long is that if you don't have the kind of discipline, perseverance, it's the best word I can think of, but if you don't have the ability to want to stick through and watch the video from the beginning to the end, generally speaking, I don't think you should be involved in a court case at all. If you're just looking for the quick and easy answer, that's not going to be, you're not going to find success that way, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So if you're going to get involved in a court case or a legal case, you have to be willing to stick with it, to read stuff and to not just want the quick and easy solution. If you ever have read a court case, like a U.S. Supreme Court case, for instance, or if you've read a contract or something, there's a reason why those contracts or those court cases are so long. If you give up, I guess, partway through reading a court case, hey, great. But again, quick and easy answers, the law in the U.S. generally does not lend itself to that. So that's kind of why my videos generally are speaking longer than typical. So anyway, moving on. So my next comment that I get a lot is, why are my videos a continuous shot? In other words, one take videos kind of like this. Like, can I, change up the background? Can I go outside? Can I film somewhere else? Like, this background's kind of, boring and stuff. All your videos kind of look the same. Your shirt changes usually, but other than that, your videos all look the same. So my videos are generally shot in a continuous take sort of style, mainly because it makes editing really easy. So the thing is, if I have multiple camera angles and I have to, switch from one camera angle to the other, I kind of worry about transitions and stuff. So that actually gets pretty complicated to map out, to do on the software, etc. One kind of continuous take videos like this are actually fairly easy to edit. I just have to kind of decide when to start, when to end, and so on. They do sort of, Doing one-take videos, unfortunately, does mean that sometimes I do mess up and I have to start all over again. So I have to take multiple attempts. But the final, the final effort involved, I guess, to make a video, it's less if I make one continuous kind of uninterrupted shot like this. Yeah. So hopefully that means that I get videos out faster. Realistically, who knows? Kind of on a related note. This background, I will admit that I would prefer not to always shoot my videos in the exact same spot. The problem though is that, I think I always knew this, but the thing is, if you are going to shoot videos outside, or if you're going to film videos in other locations and stuff, you have to worry about audio for one, background audio, cars driving by, phones going off, etc. You also have to worry about light. So you guys can probably tell I have lights kind of, in the background here, shining on me, shining on the ceiling, shining on this side of my face, that side of my face, etc. I can shoot a video anywhere, but the thing is the lighting is going to be lousy, the audio is going to be lousy too, most likely. This environment that I have here, it's a little bit boring, but I control the audio, I control the lighting, so it all works out. Yeah. So number 5, I actually get this comment quite a bit. And it's something along the lines of, don't listen to this guy, he's lying to you. Basically, where the person is basically disagreeing with something that I've said in the video. And for whatever reason, child support's a really common topic. So I have a video that goes over when child support ends, I think is the video I'm thinking of. But that video, a lot of the comments that I got on that video basically are, child support's a scam, child support lasts forever, child support is illegitimate, or something like that. So yeah, so like they're basically disagreeing with what I have to say, and they're saying that I'm lying to you guys about it. So this is what I would say to that. Number 1 is that the United States obviously is a free country. You can believe whatever it is that you like. I am here just to provide you info on a particular topic. Generally speaking, I'll try to include the cases, the statutes, all the authority as to why I'm saying what I'm saying, so that you don't have to believe me. You can actually look it up yourself. Nowadays, anybody can Google basically anything. You don't have to believe me. So the thing is, if you genuinely believe that child support's a scam, let's say, and that you don't want to pay it, or that you don't have to pay it, if you make that choice intelligently, voluntarily, and you know the pros, the cons, the consequences, etc., if you're wrong, and yet you still decide not to pay it, that's perfectly fine. I have no problem with that whatsoever. But I mean, my experience, I guess, given all the authority that I cite to in my videos, given all the experiences that I've had in court in California, I don't think I'm wrong when it comes to, say, child support. Yeah, whether or not you want to believe me, I mean, I'm not of the view that you have to believe me. I don't expect people to believe me. That's why I cite all the case law and the statutes and stuff that I do. But from my perspective, as long as you know what you're doing, as long as you know what the consequences are that you're doing, nobody's forcing you. I have no problem with it. Believe what you like. All right. So number 6 is, do you take requests for videos? In other words, Andy, can you do a video on X, whatever it is? And the answer to this actually is yes. So I mean, for YouTube kind of analytics purposes, I can't shoot a video that's basically only meant for one person, like there's only one person out there who would be interested. But if I get a lot of requests for, I don't know, administrative law, let's say, or something, like, basically, the same type of question or the same type of issue or something over and over again, will I shoot a video on that? Absolutely. Like I said, I do read my comments. So do I take requests for videos? Yes, but you understand that I can't shoot a video just for one person. I gotta kind of go for the low-hanging fruit, I guess, whatever videos that would be interesting to the most number of people. Number 7, what kind of law do you do? Because I'm assuming the reason why people ask this is because my videos tend to not be just family law, or not just criminal defense, not just civil law. Like, it's kind of like, it's pretty difficult, I guess, to kind of see from my videos what type of law that I do. So the way that I answer this question most typically is, I do litigation. I hate to say general litigation because it's not really specific, but any type of litigation I generally will at least have some interest in. Transactional work, I've done it before. It's okay. Like, depending on the situation, depending on the client, will I transact also? Yes. But litigation, generally speaking, is what I like to do. It suits my personality more, I guess. Yeah, so specifically, it's going to be state court litigation that I typically do the most often. More specialized stuff like bankruptcy law, trademark law. Excuse me. I've not done that before, but bankruptcy I've done a little bit. But those things are federal court. Generally speaking, I don't do that as often. But state court stuff I do all the time. Yeah, that could include criminal law, family law, civil law, personal injury, probate. Yeah, so that's just what I like to do. The good thing about being a lawyer, generally speaking, is that you have the ability to, I guess, find stuff that really suits your personality, that really kind of lends itself, that makes you happy, fulfilled, etc. So hopefully that helps. So I think it's 8 now, if I'm reading my list correctly. Number 8, can I set up an appointment to meet with you? Well, okay, so depending on where you are, yes. But can I set up an appointment to meet with you, to talk with you, to consult with you? The answer to that is yes, you can. And again, depending on where you are, depending on what your case is about or something, I might not be able to accommodate you. Like, it's just not something that I can do. But if you are in California, if you have a case in state court in California, can you consult with me? Sure. And one thing I don't advertise this. I probably should, actually, now that I think about it. But I do offer something called a consultation phone call. I think I call it an organizing phone call. So the basic idea there, is that if you have a situation that you're really stuck on, that you can't make heads or tails of this, you're really stuck. What you can do is you can hire me for an hour or 2 or 3 or something, like a short amount of time. That you can email me, you can talk to me on the phone, talk to me via Skype or something, and just kind of get my advice, get my get my services for that short amount of time, and hopefully what I tell you, what direction I point you to, that's going to be enough to kind of get you over whatever kind of obstacle you're facing right now. I guess it's fairly common. Like I said, I don't advertise it, so it's probably something that could be more popular, but it is something that I definitely do. You pay for an hour or 2 or so, and I try to help you as best I can during that time. Hopefully, most of the time, actually, I am able to give you some guidance and some advice, and you're able to either think of a new way to do this, or get a form, file a motion, or whatever, to get you over whatever obstacle you're facing at that particular moment. So yes, I do that. So I think I'm up to number 9 here on my list, I think. So number 9 is not really a question, it's more of a general sentiment. And number 9 is, thank you, your video on X, whatever topic X is, really helped me out. Thank you for putting it out. So that type of comment, I'm touched that people would do that. Like, that's kind of my goal, I suppose, in putting videos like this out. Hopefully, if you watch enough of my videos, you can kind of see that, what's the word here I'm looking for? That the law is not easy, but it is also not complicated. A lot of it is actually common sense, but it's common sense kind of dressed up in very complicated kind of surroundings, I guess. But at the root of it is actually common sense a lot of the time. So if these videos that I shoot, kind of on the weekend or in the evening, and stuff, can help you out, great. I'm happy, to do that. I'm really, glad for you, happy for you that your situation worked out. So number 10. Number 10 kind of makes me laugh, and the comment or the question is, what is your typical day like? I never thought that somebody would ask that. That's not really a law-related question, but the typical day that I have, I guess, it depends on what's on calendar for that day. So if it's a court day, obviously you got to get up and shave, dress, etc., and get to court on time. If it is a day where I'm traveling, I got to do that, of course. If it's something where I am just going to be in the office that day on the computer, let's say, I'll just do that. So the schedule each day varies tremendously. Flexibility is going to be important if you want to be a lawyer, I think. It's something where you just kind of have to go with the flow. If an emergency pops up, which it often does, my day might change unexpectedly, and I just have to roll with it. So most lawyers, I think, will be like that. Like, they schedule their day based on what they have to do that day. And sometimes they find themselves free. Sometimes they find themselves immersed in a really kind of urgent kind of emergency situation. So last comment that I get a lot, it makes me laugh. So the comment, I guess, the question is, are you hiring? I guess honestly, I mean, I never would have guessed that somebody would ask this. I'm assuming you're a law student or a lawyer looking to kind of change jobs or something. I get some of this, like sometimes I get this question from staff as well, like looking for like paralegal jobs and stuff. But are you hiring? The answer unfortunately is no. I mean, I think staffing wise, I'm kind of good where I am. Yeah. So yeah, I'm touched. I'm kind of flattered, I guess, that people would ask that. Are you hiring? If I mean, who knows what the future holds? Like I might be hiring later on, but not presently at this moment. So that's I think all the questions on the list that I have kind of hanging from the camera here. But yeah, so hopefully all of that is helpful to you. I guess people who are asking comments like that or posing questions like that. And I guess lastly, I will also say that I'm grateful, thankful to every one of you who are subscribing. Even if you don't subscribe and you're just watching the videos, if my videos help you out, great. Hopefully that if they don't kind of address your precise situation, they at least give you some ideas of stuff to Google, like more intelligent questions to ask when you actually do meet with an attorney. Yeah. So anyway, I am grateful to all of you, and I will keep putting out videos like this. Hopefully you guys find them enjoyable. All right. Thanks a lot, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks.